The Honest Garage Podcast, where real shop owners tell real shop stories.
Today on the Honest Garage Podcast, we're talking with a shop owner who seems to have built his business around two things that never go out of style in this industry: trust and constant growth. Our guest today is Julio Campos, owner of Dragonfly Automotive in San Diego, California. Dragonfly has been serving San Diego since 2014 and now operates in both San Diego and Pacific Beach, offering full-service repair and maintenance on all makes and models. The shop positions itself around honest advice, no unnecessary upsells, strong diagnostics, and a customer experience built on clear communication and peace of mind. Julio's background in ownership started after more than a decade with Toyota, and over the last several years, he's grown Dragonfly into a well-known local brand with a strong review footprint and a reputation for quality work at a fair price. What's also interesting is that he hasn't kept his focus only inside his own bays. He's become deeply involved in the broader industry, serving in leadership with ASCCA both locally in San Diego and statewide, participating at the council level, and helping establish the Dragonfly Employees Scholarship Fund to support growth and training in the trade. What makes this episode especially valuable for other independent owners is that Dragonfly seems to sit right at the intersection of shop operations, customer trust, and industry involvement. This is a business that appears to take diagnostics seriously, communication seriously, and the long-term health of the industry seriously as well. In this episode, we're going to dig into how Julio went from Toyota to ownership, how he's built Dragonfly around transparency and trust, and what role professional networking and industry leadership have played in his growth, and what other independent shop owners can learn from someone who's trying to build both a great shop and a stronger industry around it. Julio, welcome to the Honest Garage Podcast today. How are you, my friend?
Good morning, David. Everything is great. How are you, my friend?
Doing very well. Happy to have you on the show today.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the invitation.
Yeah, of course. So I'm going to get you started with something we ask pretty much everybody that comes on the show. What was the car that really got you interested in the automotive industry? Because I think there's a lot of car enthusiasts in this industry, and it's usually either one that kept breaking down or a dream car that we were chasing after.
Like you said, you had that car. I don't want to say the name of the brand that always breaking down. So you're a great company, great cars. I learned that if you do it right with customers, everything is paid off. People are happy. They love what they have. They spend only they know how much money they have spent on their own cars. So I would say I don't have a preferred car on Toyota that it was breaking all the time. So we're just doing preventive maintenance and follow up. It was good. Yes.
Yeah, that's great, man. So you mentioned Toyota, and I know we talked about that kind of in the intro and on the prep call, but I wanted to give you a chance to tell your story really from the beginning. I know that you spent more than a decade in the Toyota world before taking the leap into ownership yourself.
Yes.
Walk us through kind of that beginning time at Toyota and then the transition on your way out of Toyota and into Dragonfly.
I started at Toyota working as a lap porter, moving parking cars.
Yeah.
And then, I will lie to tell you that I was also motivated to fix cars. I didn't know anything about cars, but also motivated to have a healthy life with my family, to make money, decent money, honest money. And I got an offer, hey, Julio, would you like to be a lube tech, from lap porter to lube tech? And they said, okay, yeah, we're going to pay $1 more. And $1 in those times were good.
Yeah.
So I said, yes. I decided to go to the lube tech, line tech. And then I decided they offered me to go to the Miramar College. I got the city college over here in San Diego to take the T10 program from Toyota. I finished my program. They put me as a line technician, and it's when I started to move up to the top. But the motivation is also helping people that they struggle to pay high prices on the dealers. And also, like, when you bring the car, I'm not saying all the dealers are the same. It's not the dealer, it's the person behind that desk. And I always tell my customers, we might be more expensive than the dealer, but we're giving you that peace of mind, like our 3 years warranty. When you call me, something happened, we always respond the phone. A different it's like a different relation.
Yeah.
That's how we do it. Yeah. But yeah.
That's great, man. And I know that transition period after you left Toyota and starting Dragonfly, for anybody out there that's listening who might be in that transition period, tell us what that was like for you, and then what advice you'd have for anybody that, that's looking to make that leap out of the dealer world and into shop ownership.
You know what? I think everything starts over here in your head, like a dreams. You see the picture, you want to be there at that level.
Yeah.
But also scary, yes, because the beginning is always hard. Anything you start in the beginning is not easy. It was really hard, yes, I'm not lying. We had bad moments that sometimes we wanted to quit and say, you know what, I think we won't make it, because it's really hard, especially when you learn that there is an entity of the bar. Like I said, I didn't know many things, regulating everything you do. Even if you want to do a free work to the customer, it has to be, you have to open a repair order. Sometimes we were doing, let me fix it for free, I won't charge you, because you want to create that bond with the customer. Yeah. But when I learned, you know what, Julio, you have to open a repair order. Even if you do it for free, it's too much. It's too much. But I think it's the healthy way to do it when you learn to do it right. If I knew, like I said in the beginning, how to open my business, I would be probably scared, because too many regulations. But like I said, when you have set up in your head of what you want in life, the picture is getting bigger and bigger in a good way, like the windshield on the car. Moving forward. Yeah, clean your windshield, clean your area, but you can moving forward. Yeah.
I love that, man. And it's that idea of maybe ignorance is really bliss when you start your shop, when you start your own business. I think that it's a good reminder for people that it's probably better that you don't know everything when you start, because
right.
You might be too afraid.
Fear is your worst enemy. Fear is the worst enemy that you can have, because, like I said, if I knew many things, it would be very scary. I would probably continue, but more like a baby steps. We decided to quit Toyota. I don't know, just very scary. But
yeah. One of the things that really stood out when we were on the prep call is that Dragonfly is really positioned around honesty, not any unnecessary upsells, and taking care of the customer. Those were the 3 points you hit on in our prep call. And I'm curious, what does that actually look like inside the business on the day-to-day? How are you making sure that you're not doing unnecessary upsells? And what's the way that you're taking care of the customer when they're coming in?
You know what? We know we need the money, right? Everybody needs the money. But the money comes when you do a clean job. I think customers are able to pay when you tell them the truth. This is what you really need. Yeah. If you love your car, you want to keep moving your car forward. We are very selective of the people we have over here at the shop. We interview them. I want to meet them in person to see who they are. We all do mistakes. We have sometimes a bad background, but doesn't mean that's the end of your life. I mean, we have done mistakes on life, but doesn't mean that's going to be the ending for everything, for you, for your future. We interview them, we talk to them, and we explain who we are, who is me, who is my wife, what we like, what we do. Honest work, clean jobs, nothing like taking advantage, because it's easy, to be honest, to take advantage. We are not rich over here. People think, oh, Julio, you might be rich, you have a lot of cars. But we are not rich people. We are normal citizens, normal people that we like to help others, help the community. Yeah.
I love that. And you mentioned that just because somebody has a bad past or they had a mistake, that's not the end of their life. I'm curious, when it comes to hiring, what is it that you're looking for those people that'll let you know that they're ready for that new chance? What makes you feel like somebody might be ready to turn that corner?
Like I said, we talk to them in person, and it seems that common sense is common sense here and everywhere in the world. You can hear the people talking, and you can tell when somebody, and I always tell them, you know what, it's good that you know something about cars, like being a service advisor, for example. But there are many things you're going to learn, because we have trainings through because we are an Napa Gold Shop over here. We have free trainings. Like I said, ASCCA also have trainings for technicians, training for advisors. So we give them the opportunity for them to say, you know what, yes, I want to be a part of your team after we show them who we are as a person. Like I said, good people, like taking advantage of customers. You know what? You don't recommend something that you don't need. Being honest, like your podcast, honest podcast shop, yes, something like that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that obviously we care about the word honesty here. We care about the word trust. And when we were talking in the prep call, you kept mentioning that word trust and building trust. And I'm curious, what is it that you're doing that's helping those customers trust you when they come into your shop? What are the things that really stand out in your process that help build that trust with customers?
First of all, what we tell my customers, we have customers that say, you know what, Julio, I came because somebody recommend me with you. And I always tell them, my techs, my advisors, we are no gods over here. We are not like, we don't have that little magic thing that we can tell you right away what's wrong with your car. Some things are difficult to fix, especially with the newer vehicles. Right now, you have to be almost like a NASA engineer to learn how the system works. It's complicated,
Yeah.
but we do mistakes, yes, but we are behind our mistakes. We offer 3 years, 36,000 miles, nationwide warranty. Something happened, you can call us anytime. You can leave a voicemail, texting. There are many resources that we use that the customer can use for them. Like I said, we do mistakes, yes, because we're humans, but we like to fix our mistakes right away. Yeah.
And I think that's the really important thing when you're trying to establish trust is just the thing that a customer really wants to know more than anything is, are you going to take care of them in the event that something goes wrong? Nobody really worries if everything goes right, but they want to know they're going to be taken care of if things don't go right. And I think that's something that really stands out about what I've seen from the communication with you and your team.
Yeah, I think that's the most important thing to tell the customer. In case of the worst scenario, you have nationwide warranty. But in case something happens, they can call the shop anytime. And we're here to help. We give priorities, especially if we did something wrong, we give priority for that. So let's fix it first.
Yeah. One of the other things that you were really big on was the education piece. You put a really heavy emphasis on the diagnostics and actually showing people what's going on with their car and not just telling them, it's broke, we'll fix it. But you want them to really understand what broke and why and how you're going to fix it. And how important has that been for you with building credibility with people as well?
What we do here, for example, let's see, we show the customer about preventive maintenance. Preventive maintenance is the main key right now in the newer cars. Like you were saying in your truck, for example, I don't know how old is your truck, but it seems that nothing is built as before to last forever. The older cars, they were on the market for many years and anybody can do anything on the car. Now it seems that even for replacing an oil filter, you have to have a special tools and then you have to have a scanner and all those things. We teach the customers, you know what, newer cars, they need more maintenance because that's the way they build them now. But if you take care of the maintenance, we show the customer something is leaking, we grab the customer, we show them in person, you know what, the car is on the rack. Let me show you what you have. If the water pump is leaking because 200,000 miles car, for example, or 100,000 miles car. But also, if you don't have history replacing the coolant, doing the oil changes and all those preventive maintenance, anything might break today, tomorrow, next week. Anything can happen anytime. So we try to teach the customer, educate the customers. The maintenance is the main key for the car to survive any condition.
Yeah, I think that's really critical. And I think that the explanation around, hey, even though you've done the maintenance, even if we've done absolutely everything, these vehicles are still built by humans and the parts still fail. They're not built the way that they used to be built on these older vehicles. And I think just the fact that you're willing to stand up and have the conversation and not try to shy away from it's really critical.
Yeah, I think cars, like the example of the oxygen sensor, lean and rich when you're up and down. Humans are the same thing. We have good times, bad times, like lean, rich. Cars, the same thing. There are moments that the car might have a depression time and something start going on with the computer. Like I said, now anything on the newer cars, anything can happen. But we like to explain to customers that's the way it is right now with technology. Everything is little bit more complicated, but can be fixed. Yes, everything can be done. Yeah.
I love that. And I know you've really gone beyond just running your business at Dragonfly, and you've really gotten active in the industry at large, not just you doing podcasts and stuff like this, but talk to me about the leadership role that you've taken on with ASCCA and other things like the scholarship fund. And what was the inspiration behind really branching out into the industry, first of all?
For the ASCCA and the scholarships, Napa has something also like that, scholarships. I got into ASCCA through other shop owners. Somebody presented me another shop owner over here in San Diego, a good friend, John Epstein. And he brought me to, like I said, just it seems that the ASCCA is mostly good owners that they want to make the industry safe for the customers that trust us. It's not before that any shop can take advantage of you. So we had a bunch of shop owners between San Diego, the whole California area that we meet twice a year, for example. We talk about the business, we talk about what can we do better, regulations, legislations, anything that's happening on the market to help customers. And also the scholarships for the students. We have some programs that like a foundation. When you, let's say you have a car that you don't like, you can donate it to us. We can submit it to the car to be sold in the auction. Part of the money goes to people who want to be guys who want to be technicians, high schools. We just were in a program helping Skill USA, I think last month. I think it was in Ontario, California. We were helping high school students to decide what they wanted to be, either engineers, automotive technicians. It's motivating to see because we were in that position before. So we use a little bit of the money that we create for the donations to help these kids. It's not too much, but it makes a difference for somebody sometimes when they need it.
Yeah, I think it's good, even psychologically, for the younger generation coming up to see that there are people who are willing to invest in the younger generation coming into this industry. And
Yeah.
everybody, we talk to shop owners all over the country. One of the biggest concerns that almost everybody has is technician shortage and hiring. And it's one of those things that a lot of people want to point to the problem, but very few people are working towards a solution. And I love that you're doing something to try to draw kids into the industry. I think that's really impressive.
And you know what? This is learning. I have, like I said, in the ASCCA, we have other people that have probably 40, 50 years making business, having their own business. I learn a lot from them that they can, and you can tell they are good people. It's like when you were asking me, how do we select employees over here?
Yeah.
It seems that they select the shops that are part of the ACCA to see you have a good reputation. They want you in because they want to learn from you. I learn from them. They learn from me, like a two-way street.
Yeah. I love that. And I think that's really important for listeners out there to realize that getting involved actively in the industry rather than just keeping your head down and focused in on just your own business is absolutely critical, because technicians want to feel like they're coming to join something. They're in this industry because they actually live in most cases, and they want to feel like they're joining something bigger and that they're going to have an impact and that they're working for a shop that wants to invest in industry. So I love that, man.
You know, the analogy of time and money, right?
Yeah.
Time and money. You can make a lot of money right now, probably the next month, but if you don't make the money, how do you say, like a healthy way, you don't know how much time you have, either as a business owner, as a technician to survive. So it's like being in good hands. Yeah.
I love that. I know one of the other things that you've really focused on is building a stronger team, stronger standards, stronger pathways into the trade. If you were sitting across from another shop owner who wants to go from one shop to two shops, like I know you guys just opened up that second shop, what would you want them to understand about staying connected, about crossing into that multi-shop owner category? And what do you think on beyond just car count at the locations?
You know what? I think everybody needs a coach. Even if I have two shops, I've been so many years of experience as a tech. I don't do repairs anymore on my side, but like having a coach helps a lot because you have a coaching company to give you better advices because sometimes you can go ask GPT or Google now, but
Yeah.
it might be a lie. So it's better to have a person like you and me talking over here to tell you, you know what, Julio, these are your numbers that you have. This is what you can do to reach that level that you want and move forward to open another business. But if you don't have a good person to teach you how to do it, it's like you're gonna be stuck on like a stick shift in one way, fourth or fifth forever. You won't move like overdrive. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that it's important that people understand that the coach is there to pass on the knowledge, but there's also the accountability piece when somebody's there to just constantly remind you and push you to be better. It makes a really big difference in how you show up every day.
Yeah, it makes a difference because, for example, it is sometimes stressing that you have meetings every week but it's like I said, it's how long you want to be on the market,
Right.
learning new things, teaching to you guys, to your people, good things that they can do. Yeah.
And so, talk to me a little bit about that transition from one shop to two shop. What was the biggest lesson you learned when you were opening up the new shop, or the thing that you took from the first shop to make the second shop easier?
I think having the right person sometimes helps also because you release of your duties over here. I'm not saying we are perfect over here. We are moving always. Like every day is a learning experience.
Sure.
But having the good team, the right team, helps you to think, you know what, I'm released for this. I can do, let me see what I can do now. So your windshield start clearing better to see what you can do to expand your company, your reputation, your name, and all those things. Yes.
And was the intention to open another location, or did a good opportunity show up? How did that come about?
We had it in our heads, but we never, an opportunity show up also. And one of the O'Reilly's vendors came over here at the shop and told me, you know what, Julio, there is a shop for sale at the Pacific Beach, but the owner, they want to choose the buyer because they want to be sure they were good people. They were worried about their customers they had to see who was going to take over that business. They didn't want to have that, I don't know, bad experience selling the business to somebody that, you know what, they're going to rip off on my 30 years customer base that I had over here, even if they're nowhere actively working anymore, but their name. So
Yeah,
they choose the buyers. We were in an interview, the same thing. We went to them, talked to them. Other people went to them and talked to them, and we were the lucky ones, the blessed ones. Yeah, yeah.
that's great, man. And just real quick, I want to interject something because producer Paul on our team just dropped a really good and observant point. We've had a lot
Mhm.
of guests on the show, for everybody out there listening, who have gone from one shop to multi shop, or who have gotten into the first shop. But the link across almost everybody has been vendors, parts vendors, tool truck
Yes.
vendors. Somebody inside knows that a shop's going to come for sale, or an opportunity is going to be available before it's public. So just a reminder for everybody out there listening, treat your vendors, treat your tool truck drivers, treat all the people nice around you, and they may have inside information, and make sure you're asking.
Yeah, you're right on that one because your vendors are your eyes and your ears everywhere. The guy
Yeah,
that goes to you, he knows everywhere. But like I said, it's like you said, if you have a respect for every person, anyone to show up to your business, tell you about anything, you open that relation. There can be freedom to tell you, you know what, Julio, this is going on, but some people feel shy because the door is not wide open. Open the door to anybody. Talk to them. Listen what they say. That's the only way to
absolutely.
learn.
So as you were making that transition into the second shop, what was the biggest lever that you were able to pull to really get the numbers that you wanted? Were you looking to get more money, bigger car count? What was the opportunity, or what was that lever that you pulled that made that second shop worth pursuing?
Like when we opened the first one, like I said in the beginning, I would be scared to open another in the beginning because you were lost, like you didn't know nothing. And the best way, like you said, having that relation with vendors. For example, we have Kukui as our CRM,
Yep.
marketing, all those things. When you feel that you can trust also other companies that do the job, like you do your side, your business, but they can do the rest and their side and the computer side, marketing side, it helps a lot. And transitioning to another business, we had the experience already that we can do better. Yes, we can expand. Yes, we had the tools, also having your own tools and having the people also. So that's why we decided, you know what? I think it's time. We can do it. Yeah.
I love that. That's great, Julio. So I know we touched on this a little bit earlier, but I want to bring it back because we ask everybody specifically on the show about the word honest. When you hear that phrase, honest mechanic or honest garage, honest shop, what does that mean to you, Julio? And how does that show up in the way that you're running Dragonfly on the day to day?
Honest mean being transparent with the customer. And like I said, we, for example, we have the digital vehicle inspections. They help a lot, taking pictures of what you need.
Yeah.
If the customer is over here waiting, or the customer needs to see it, we love to show the customer why they have wrong. We like to drive with the customers. If the customer say, you know what, I feel more confident if you have somebody to drive with me to explain what it, to give that customer that empathy that they are in good hands and the repair will be done properly. That's what it is. Be transparent. Yeah.
That's great, man. I know I've said it a lot, but I just love your answers to these honesty questions, man. It just shows up in the way you run your shop, and I love the authenticity that you're bringing on the show.
Hey, David, you know what? You're saying I'm a customer to you. When you go to Costco, to any store, I love when somebody, and even sometimes you're giving the applause. When I always tell you know what, you went above and beyond of your position because not everybody, and you can go anywhere. It seems like common sense love for what you do is being lost already. People probably, I don't know what's going on, but many places the people don't have that spark. And when you see somebody going above and beyond, I tell them, you know what? I really love what you're doing. I want to give you my applause to you because you're doing a great job what you're doing. And some people, they feel happy that you tell them words matter. When you tell the words, same thing on the people you have, giving motivations, you talk to them, make them feel that they're in good home over here, in a good house. Yeah.
Yeah, that putting the person back in the forefront of people's minds and realizing that we're all people. I think that's great.
Yeah.
One of the things that we're really proud of that we're building here with the Honest Garage podcast is the community of people who've been on the show, of our listeners. If anybody out there wants to connect with you and dig deeper on anything that we talked about today, Julio, what's the best way for them to get in touch with you and stay in touch with you?
To be honest, they can call me to the shop. My name is Julio. I can show them my kitchen. They can see the whole kitchen, how we're cooking over here. If they like the recipe, they can copy and paste it on the job they do. Honestly, I learned, like I said, from my friend John. He has 4 shops in San Diego. There is nothing to hide, especially for somebody else that wants to do a good job the same way you're doing honest work. You should open your kitchen to show them the right way to do it. Nothing to hide. I think the best thing and the healthy way to do it on the automotive to bring more good shops to be part of the good industry, not the bad industry, the good industry. Yeah.
Fantastic, man. And I just want to say, anybody out there, if you've got value from this conversation, reach out to Julio at the shop. He's got so much more knowledge than we can share in a limited format on the show today. And if you got value from the conversation or from this episode, check out some of our other episodes. Give us a follow the show. We're on Apple, Spotify, YouTube. We're all over the place. And it's really cool to see the likes and the followers grow and see more recommendations for the show, which is fantastic. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss future episodes. Leave us reviews for the show. It helps us grow, helps more shop owners find us, and helps us continue to tell great stories like Julio's today. And I just want to say huge thank you, man, Julio. You've been awesome, and really appreciate you opening up the kitchen and sharing the recipe.
David, same thing over here. It's a two-way street. Let's help each other to make this industry better. There is a long way to go still. The industry is changing, but I think we can do it.
I love that. And if you're listening and you need more marketing resources or marketing help, you can always reach out to us at honestmechanicmarketing.com. But really, thank you all to the listeners, and one more big thanks to Julio. And as always, let's keep it honest in the garage.
So I sat there and wrestled that one down. I brought in bulk oil. I got rid of all the overstock. I sold overstock. I cleaned up the area. When it comes down to keeping coolant, because his biggest seller was coolant, because he gets it for dirt cheap and he sells it to him for relatively cheap. But you just push that cost back to the customer. It's just the way it is. So yeah, those are some of the challenges that I had to overcome. And I also had to overcome the previous managers that dragged this place into the dirt. I'm not going to name names. It doesn't really matter, but they didn't treat this place with heart and soul and caring about the customer at the end of the day. A car that's worth 10 grand, I'm throwing a bill at $10,000 at people. No, we don't do that. What we do is we address each issue that is mostly of a concern. And we tell the customer, you don't need to deal with this right now. And the reason why you don't need to deal with it right now is, number one, if you have Swaywear end-link boots that are cracked, we live in San Diego. When does it rain here? You just be open, and that's where the transparency comes in. So we don't sell